Hello and welcome to Down the Slope. We've got a full house, which is a nice change. I'm Ewan. We've got Harry, Greg, and Liam. Harry, come to you first. How you doing, mate?
Being honest, mate, I'm roasting. I'm absolutely roasting. I'm currently down in London, and it is 38 degrees, and it's what time? 8. It's just past 8 o'clock, and it's 38 degrees. Unacceptable. I'm enraged by the weather. There you go, Ewan. That's how I am.
Absolutely bloody roasting. Liam, how you doing, mate? Other than no doubt sweating your bollocks off.
It's 27 degrees in Edinburgh. I'm thinking of putting the heating on soon if it gets any cooler than this. Like, kind of used, but I'm fucking feeling it. Like, maybe go and stick another pair of socks on and go take my thermal underwear on. Yes, I do own thermal underwear. Men of a certain age should always own thermal underwear. I was going to say,
that's side of the age, isn't it?
Do you own long johns?
No, but I've got a pair of white Calvin Klein sort of pajama bottoms that probably would pass as long johns, like if the chance keeps up. Tell you what though, she's a man owning a pair of white fucking pajama bottoms. That's a fucking bold move, isn't it?
It's like Jesus.
Greg, I believe you're not on the camera due to, but we'll say the weather. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Yesterday absolutely took out me. Playing 90 minutes in that heat on the Astro was not good, but yeah, feeling it a bit today. Got beat 3-2.
Oh,
gutted.
Yeah, guys, do you reckon Paul Hanlon's got a podcast and he went and watched Greg's game and he's just absolutely roasted him the night?
Oh dear.
To be fair, all the goals came down the right, mate. So it's not my responsibility to defend it.
Is that you shunted across the right back, GI?
Fucking home again.
Steady. Inverted fullbacks we're playing now, yeah, mate.
João Cancelo.
Superb.
Right.
But yeah, to be honest, it was all right, and it was quite good they had VAR yesterday actually, because it meant that we could stop for a couple of minutes each time. So
Wait, did you say they had that?
Yeah, they had VAR. They were trialing it. Was that right at the Orium? It was actually all right, to be fair. I didn't mind it that much. I didn't think it was too bad.
You were just happy to get a breather though, mate.
I was fucking delighted to get a breather, mate.
Are you saying there was a category 1 referee?
They made, yeah. He's refed SPFL top flight relegation playoff before. I had a look at his refereeing career last night, and that's all right. To be fair, must be getting promoted to the big leagues now. But yeah, fucking tough going.
Right, we've got 3 games to sort of go over, because I know 2 of you did venture to watch the development squad on Saturday. And let's just get a caveat out there. We don't plan on this being a very long episode because we are all absolutely fucking sweating. Right, Falkirk game. Something that I have been very strongly informed to tell our listeners is Lorden actually enjoyed herself on Tuesday, despite the result. And after calling her out on last week's podcast, I've got a knife to my back, currently making sure that I get that said. But yes, I was on the one that was there. Usefully, what did you make of Falkirk on the telly box? A lot of changes beforehand. Liam, you did highlight the changes. As soon as the team came out, did that raise concerns straight away?
I was very worried when I seen that starting 11, and I think I said that in a few group chats, and I was told just to calm the fuck down when I said I was worried, because it's only Falkirk. But we saw the limitations of that midfield 3. I think it's been done to death. I probably don't really want to speak about it anymore, because I think everybody's very well aware that midfield 3 is just not going to be the answer this season. That was an issue. I felt our front 3 was maybe a wee bit of an issue, kind of lacking movement as well, and I don't think we'll see very much of Rocky Bashiri and Kyle McClelland as a partnership between now and the end of the season.
Is it surprising you at all that we're still having to play one of them beside Poachers, given the first league game is in, 12 days?
It surprises and worries me, because based on how long it's taken to get work permits for some of our players, if we're going to be signing someone from the continent, which, given our business so far, you might surmise is quite likely, I'd be very worried that we might not have a second starting centre half in before the Edinburgh derby potentially, which would be far less than ideal.
Yeah. Harry, what did you make of the first 45, especially at Falkirk?
Oh God, it was being fair to Falkirk. They should have been about 4-0 up at halftime. Like they were genuinely squandering chance after chance. Like I missed the Clyde game, and then obviously watched the highlights back in the first half. Looked quality, and everything that looked good in that game was completely missing from the Falkirk game. It is like I think that first half was potentially as bad, if not worse, than anything under Maloney. Like it was horrifyingly bad. The good thing is though, we're not going to play. That's nowhere near our starting 11. What I will say though is I wish we were better at the old editing skills. And then when Liam mentioned the midfield free, we could like clip in that. I'd like to report a crime, an international war crime, because that midfield cannot start together ever again.
Yeah, Greg. Was it maybe just a case of players that we've seen that maybe aren't quite at the level that we want from last season? That sort of shown on the first half on Tuesday, and then still kind of in the second half as well with an inability to take the chances when they did come.
Me and Liam were actually talking about it on Saturday that obviously when you know a player is shite, you look out for stuff more when they're on the ball. Yeah, I mean the midfield three is too one-dimensional. We don't have enough going forward in the midfield, and I don't know. I just feel like we almost relied a little bit too heavily on McGeady against Falkirk. Get the ball to him. That was the one out ball that we had. Cadden and Bashiri trying to launch the ball 60 yards across the pitch to him. It's just shite. Yeah, I just Liam was definitely right. I think we've tried to give players the benefit of the doubt, but the team selection was absolutely shite, and some players in that squad should be nowhere near it. As we seen on Saturday, Liam. To be fair,
did that first half pretend, and the game in general, did it almost do more favours to those that didn't start? You know, and like I think like you look at a Ewan Henderson and a Melkerson that both came off the bench, and again I thought Henderson looked good. Melkerson probably didn't do too much, but there was that marked improvement in the second half. Now again, we didn't score the goals that we probably should have. And like it's been a long time since the game happened. We should have won the game. You know, we had more than enough chances to do so. But that first half, for me, it was badly missing what Henderson and Melkerson have gave the team in the Bonnyrigg game and the Clyde game. Anyone that wants to take up on that, to be fair, because I know I didn't say anything.
I just think a problem that we've had, that we've had since probably Lennon left. I just don't think we can string two halves together. I think even at the game at the weekend that we'll come on to later on, like I think we were substantially better in the second half than we were the first half. Like that Falkirk game, if we played like we did the second half and the first half and did it for 90 minutes, we would have absolutely battered them. But we just can't play 2 45 minutes back to back. It's bizarre. And I don't know if it's a mindset thing, if it's just, I honestly just don't get it. Because if we normally play at least one half to a pretty decent standard, and the other half's just boring, dry football.
Yeah,
I actually think that Ewan Henderson's probably been, over the games that we've seen, probably the best player consistently. I think we also seen it towards the end of last season. He's got a lot of energy. He wants to get on the ball. He wants to make things happen. He's brave in possession. It's exactly what we've needed for a while, to be honest. He just needs players around him to complement that. I think that Melkerson certainly looks a lot better, a lot more physical, and also a lot more promising than he did last season. Obviously had the game at Motherwell, but other than that, he pretty much flattered to deceive.
Yeah, I think the one thing for me with Melkerson that's stood out, and obviously we spoke about, he looks like he's bulked up. For me, look, you'd like to think a Hibs player that we've paid good money for is going to stand out against League One and League Two teams. But the smaller things like winning his headers and stuff that I felt he didn't get anywhere close to last season, that sort of stuff that maybe you would think might almost be more difficult against the lesser teams where they're more aggressive, they're more physical. I feel like that side of his game's really come on, and his link-up plays look pretty good so far. But look, Liam, do you want to take us away from the Falkirk game, maybe with your closing thoughts on that, and then we'll move on to the Bonnyrigg game?
I mean, I suppose closing thoughts. We probably created enough chances in the second half to go on and win the game quite comfortably. Really, in the end, we didn't take the chances that we created for ourselves. I think we saw a bit of an improvement because I think the players probably got a bit of a rock in a half time, but also the personnel changed. We started finding the ability, because we had the players in the park to do it, to be able to start attacks from defence, and we didn't have the ability to do that in the first half. So people quite focus on defending from the front quite a lot of the time. Being able to attack is about where you start from in the base position. So disappointing outcome, but let's fucking forget about that game because it was 6 days ago now, and it's probably a week ago by the time everybody's listening at least. So I had Bonnyrigg game yesterday. So Bonnyrigg game, I didn't catch it.
Well,
we'll come to the development team. We're first team first.
Aye, so we're first team first. So the Bonnyrigg game yesterday, I wasn't there. I was at the Open. I was at the golf yesterday. So I'll just host this bit because I've got absolutely fucking nothing to add other than I haven't seen the goals. Fast start. Goal after like less than 2 minutes on the clock, and probably a wee bit of a stronger team. So that's maybe what you would expect. Harry, what did you kind of make first of all the team that started the game, and also of the kind of Hib start to the game too?
I missed the first 5 minutes.
Fucking hell! Fucking
I watched all it.
You kick off, Ewan.
No, look, it's exactly what you need to be as stereotypical as you want to be. It's exactly what you need in the games, isn't it? You sort of, if you get a fast start, it generally kills the game. It kills the chance of any momentum building up for the sort of lesser opponent. But it was a good finish from Joe Newell, something that we all want to see from him more often. We would question if he's been capable of it, but I thought he took both his goals really well, as did Ewan Henderson. I thought Joe Newell had a really good game out with the goals. The same way that I thought Aidan McGeady had a good game out with the horror penalty that he took. But I know that Specky up there maybe disagrees with Joe Newell's at least first half performance out with the goals.
I just think Joe Newell on the ball was incredibly wasteful in the first half. I think there were several occasions in which he was just overhitting passes or underhitting them. And then, like Liam's hit on it a few times, like Hibs Twitter is incredibly reactive. So I'm seeing Joe Newell scored in the first minute, therefore Jake Doyle-Hayes should never play for the club again. And it's just mental. It's mental. I thought, like, because I was being fair, I was probably slightly harsh on you, just because I was a bit frustrated by some of the comments I was seeing on Twitter. But second half, he was brilliant. He was different gravy second half. I thought he looked really good on the ball. But for me, Ewan Henderson, what a boy! What a boy!
I think he's first name on the team sheet right now. Maybe after David Marshall, probably.
Nah. I'd have what do you call it? Ewan Henderson for me. I just think he's been phenomenal the entire pre-season. And then, as we've said as well, like towards the end of last season, we said he could be a big player if the players around him actually work. And it looks like things are starting to work. But sorry, Liam, you're hosting and we're just kind of tangenting all over this game.
Nah, it's all right. I was, because you started talking about first name on the team sheet. If we had a longer episode tonight, I'd be going through you for that terrible fucking cliche. Because there's no such thing as first name on the team sheet. You've got 11 players down on the team sheet.
Right, well, let me.
I would build that entire team around Ewan Henderson. He is 100% my first player.
See, to be fair, if we can all just settle down and talk one at a time.
I'm going to watch Love Island. Settle down.
Greg. Okay, clearly heat's got to Harry a little bit. Boy's still whiter than milk, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
At least he fronts up to the camera.
Some of us are fucked. I don't even know what I was going to fucking say now.
How about you and Henderson?
Fuck knows, he's good. Move on.
Yeah, he has been the clear standout. Greg, you did touch on it earlier. Yeah, I think for me, he just looks sharper than probably the rest of them on the park. I think we spoke about last week, just the small things like that when he came in deep to take it from Marshall and flicked it around the Clyde player. But small things, Leo, I see your face, but small things, he looks sharp and he's scoring goals ultimately. But
attacking midfielders are better when they've got players running ahead of the ball, and he didn't have players running ahead of the ball last season. So it's very difficult to look good in a team where everything in front of you is absolutely fucking flat as a pancake. You've no one hit.
Yeah.
This season he's got guys making runs for him, and you see the goal he scored. Moving on to the fourth goal, he scores that goal because Lewis Miller makes the run down the outside.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
That wasn't happening consistently last season.
I think for me, the other player, and I did tweet about this and made a right arse it, but I didn't delete it because it got a few likes. I tweeted saying Noah Kenna, but it's no hand, sorry. But I think he is.
We are fucking amateurs, aren't we? Can't you get the fucking players?
That's really
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Gone to the dogs.
We probably have to give the caveat of the teams that we're playing against, but the huge comparison and how comfortable we were on the ball when he was on the park in the two games as opposed to Falkirk when he wasn't on the park, for me, is night and day. I think he does free up a Joe Newell to get forward more, because we've seen it with Jake Doyle-Hayes in the first game when he was playing alongside him. Do we think that he's potentially, Liam, you weren't sure how many games we could maybe expect to see from him? Are we starting to think that he maybe will play 30 plus league games this season?
Henderson.
No, Kenna, sorry.
In the absence of signing someone else, yes, because I think we need a natural number 6 to be playing, and I don't. Well, certainly the vast majority of games we need a natural number 6 to play. And I, based on what Lee Johnson's saying about 1, maybe 2, or 2, maybe 3, I don't think we'll be in the market for a number 6, but I think we should be, because I don't think you can rely on just one guy to fulfil that role for an entire season.
Because then we would very quick. We probably very quickly would be back to that 3. For me, I think the best midfield 3 option, because I don't know, I think Ewan Henderson's best position is number 10. I think maybe some of you guys think it's probably off the left. But for me, it's Henderson, Kenna, and then one of Newell or Doyle-Hayes, probably for me, in the middle of the park now. As it stands with the players that are available, because you'd think that Kyle McGuinness, if and when fit, will demand a place in that starting 11, but really...
What would be your midfield 3, Specky? What would be your midfield 3?
Talk up, Specky.
Behave yourselves, good golly gosh. Well, Henderson, for me, first name on the team sheet, so first name in the midfield.
In the midfield?
I'd probably be midfield, either a hanging American
football.
No, I was just
say that, mate.
Middle linebacker.
Christ. Then I'd probably go Doyle-Hayes and Kenna. I think Doyle-Hayes has looked really good when he's played this season. John Yeo looked good against Bonnyrigg Rose. What about your midfield, mate? We'll pass the parcel.
Kenna, definitely, because
I need that guy in there.
Yeah, he sort of he's the anchor.
The one that can
yeah, I am almost tempted.
I know what's coming here.
What thing's coming?
It's going to be someone you watched play on Saturday.
Nah, it's not, to be fair. Although he was very good. I think if we can get Joe Newell venturing in the box, and we can get Doyle-Hayes carrying the ball forward, then I don't see why we wouldn't have them two.
Okay.
I think, although to be fair, I've seen them in different games and they've been playing without the other, so I don't know how it would work when they went back together. It's the only issue, because they just fucking stick to each other and play truck and trailer for 90 minutes.
Played the second half together the other night, didn't they? Am I right in saying that? In Falkirk.
Yeah, all 3 of them
played the full game. The full game.
All 3 of them.
Full game, sorry.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see 2 of them in with.
Definitely. I think the 2 of them with Kenna would probably be good, because it would allow them a little bit more freedom to venture forward, which is what we've been wanting them to do for a while.
What happens to Ewan Henderson in that scenario?
He goes out wide.
Right. What about yourself, Liam?
He plays on the left of the front 3.
Right. Yep. Fair.
I'd go Kenna, JDH, and Henderson.
Right. Good goals. Good win. Morton at home on Wednesday. Another strong team to get the 3 points and hopefully do enough to make sure that we win the group, and depending on Falkirk's results. And hope, I think if you win the group, are you seeded? Aye. So
No, it should be likely, like not guaranteed.
what same team or many changes, Harry?
I just think we should treat it more like a pre-season game than an actual game. As long as we don't start that midfield, we started against Falkirk. No, it's like that's like if we'd started a different midfield, I don't have any doubts in my mind that we win that game. I just think that's the worst. Like in my opinion, that's the worst starting midfield in the Premier League. Like I don't think there's any team that can field a worse midfield than that in the Premier League. So as long as we don't start them three, I'm confident we'll win.
There's a common denominator here between what we're saying, but I'm not addressing it on the head. Liam,
Just address it.
Team for Morton. What would you make any changes from that of the first half at Bonnyrigg?
Probably. Oh, SG. Sorry.
That's
okay.
mate.
And now you go,
That's
Liam.
fair.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything decent to say.
I was just going to say probably.
Actually, hold on, Liam. I'll deal with this in here. What do you mean, as per? You just dive into folks' conversations whenever you feel like it. So I think that you've been a little bit harsher on Liam.
Wait, who said
Anyway,
I meant? Wait,
what?
what?
Anyway, Liam, carry on.
I would probably bring Miller in for Cadden. I think get some minutes into his legs. Be interested to see him with two more competent centre halves or more familiar centre halves rather next to him. I think we need to do something about the fact that Lewis Stevenson has just continued to play, and I don't think Marian Cabraja, I think I got his name right when we were talking about pronunciation, by the way. I don't think he's going to have his work permit time, but we don't have any other left back options. So that's a wee bit of an issue, but I do think we need to rotate that. And then I'd probably pretty much go with the same team, depending on if anyone else is available. Might be interesting to see a bit more of Bojang. I think, by all accounts, I think he done quite well when he came on, looked quite lively, has the pace to get in behind. Maybe from the start, it's maybe not quite right, because I would imagine Morton will sit really deep against us and force us to come through them on Wednesday night. So it might not be the game for Bojang. It might suit Doidge and Melkerson a wee bit better. I think that's what I'd go with. Definitely keep the same goalie. Just fucking take the game to them.
Yeah. Who's yourself, Greg?
Yeah, would agree with everything that Liam says. I didn't watch the game yesterday, so I'm not going to pretend I did.
I think for me, the Bojang one's that's the real question. I would probably expect him to start on the bench again, but then probably start and get a lot of minutes against Norwich, with a view to him potentially then being ready if the plan is to start him at St Johnstone potentially. I think Wednesday night he will be on the bench. I think it would be close to the same team. I'm not sure about Miller.
Is there any talks on the permits?
No, I don't think so.
It was fucking wild though. Aberdeen have got a work permit for that Luis Lopez that played with Tavares already, and they signed him about 4 weeks after Tavares.
Has he played more for like Portugal's under 21s or something? How
Not that I know of. No idea. Dave Cormack's probably just been bribing the Home Office.
I think. I mean, you'd expect them both to get Yuan and Tavares to play 90 against Norwich. I think, or at least as close to again.
If they've got work permits.
Well, it's friendlies. You can play in friendlies.
No.
They played in
No, because they need the work permit to work, mate.
No, you couldn't play friends. They only played in Portugal because it was in Portugal.
No. I thought they'd be allowed to.
One Ewan.
Can we not register them as like trialists or that? No.
Nah, because it still needs a work permit.
So they're not training then? No, but so like, can they not train or
anything? A
anything?
proud day for Mrs. Trialist.
So can they train or anything then?
Nah.
Ewan, they can't work, mate.
Nah.
But they're at the training centre.
I think they will be training. I don't think they'll be using our facilities.
Right, okay. Anyway, changes. No too many for me. Miller, he's definitely.
Come on, actually, on the subject of Miller, Ewan,
I thought he was
we
shite.
need to have a discussion.
I thought he was
no.
horrendous.
That's not what you said.
I said he looks pony. That was my words.
You ripped him off after about 5 minutes at Falkirk because you were angry.
Right before the goal. It was right before the goal that I said.
Angry little man.
I'll be honest, I don't think he's ready, close to being ready to feature as a starting right back for us this season. He will only look, he needs tight. Like
you also said Cadden should never play right back because he had one bad game.
I don't think I still don't think Cadden. I still don't think
10 players and right back.
No, I would still like us to sign a right back. I don't think Cadden's good enough to be our starting right back this season either.
Just like Stevenson there, we'll play with inverted fullbacks.
I don't think either of them are strong enough defensively, Miller at all, to be our starting right back this season as it stands. Look, he is young and he will take time to adapt. Like the Australian League is, do they not have TV breaks in the middle of the half? Well, I'm pretty sure that got tweeted out at some point, maybe just after Cummins.
Water breaks if it's hot.
I might be wrong.
That breaks for water.
It just he is an athlete, like he is and he tries to get forward and stuff, but I'm not sure. He's clumsy at best right now, but he can only get better if he plays, I guess. I wouldn't be in a rush to get him in the team though, if I'm being 100% honest. Liam, you said it. Cabraja has been made permanent. We gave it all.
It's not Cabraja, mate. Come on.
Is that what you just said?
Cabraja.
Right, anyway, it's been made permanent. Josh Doig's move's been made permanent. We spoke about it at length last week. I think it was maybe made permanent the next day. It was just good to see the club getting it done, right? Quickly, swiftly. There was no even a couple of days waiting about. It was the same day. And that's how you'd like to see us do business. Like Liam, you said, Lee Johnson's been quoted today saying 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 in the right positions. Let's get last week's episode and the week before's episode and the week before's episode at centre half, probably 2.
2 centre halves, yeah, and a centre mid. Yep. Yeah, for me, definitely. I thought it was interesting. Lee Johnson said quite a lot of things today because he was on Sky. I don't know if you've got it, but he said,
I watched it, yeah.
We've got a recruitment department that's got quite a lot of people in it, which is quite unusual for a club of our size. I was like, well, just as well we're going out and signing players as a replacement before guys have even come in the door. Seems we've got all those people in our recruitment department. I thought it was a really weird comment for a manager to make.
Is it because he's just been at Sunderland though, where the guy that was doing the transfers was made interested in making the stadium like Ibiza?
Oh no, he's been emptied. He's been emptied. Charlie Meffen's been emptied.
Thankfully, big cha-cha's away for the club. Absolute circus with that idiot.
I did think I can't remember if it was season 1 or season 2. Sunderland Till I Die. It was quite interesting the insight they gave you into the scouting department. It was just basically 3 guys who looked like scouts, just 3 old guys with beer bellies sitting there talking about players who were good and were no good based on the eye test.
It was
tell you why Sunderland have been struggling for so many years. I've seen them play.
It was like the
and they went and watched them in the flesh.
It was like the scene from Moneyball. I don't know if you at the start of that when all
but
the
Jonah Hill wasn't
scouts
there.
just Jonah
Hill wasn't there.
They were all just. Greg, Harry, do you have anything to add on the transfer front that isn't a request for centre halves?
Greg, actually, this kind of compounds that. Greg, do you think we need 3 new centre backs after a certain moment in the Bonnyrigg Rose game that we didn't mention?
I mean, I wouldn't have thought so. Some people in the defence who are still at the club, and I've been at the club for a long time, have made a career out of being bullied off strikers. So I don't think you can empty him for that.
I was trying to get you to dig out Port just because of the big fluff that he made for their goal. That was some goal, by the way, to be fair. Good old Kevin Smith.
It wasn't some goal. I think you need to be doing more. Even if you try and, put the striker off, do something, but he just didn't seem interested. So, yeah.
Well, that was an interesting segue, Sam, that I didn't want to mention. I maybe have to point this towards Liam. Greg or Harry, have you watched the Sky Sports interview today? No. With Lee Johnson.
With Lee Johnson, nah, I've not actually. I was too busy working.
Contract, so it got a little bit of airtime. The contract's on the table by the sounds of it, and he's not signed it.
as good as confirmed the rumours that have been rife for months now that the club have made him a very good offer and he refuses to sign it, perhaps because he sees his future elsewhere, maybe not in Scotland. That's fair enough if that's where he sees his future. It's a difficult one because I think for me there's a real balancing act. Like as a boyhood Hibs fan, I'll be careful what I say here, but I do think as a boyhood Hibs fan, you would have a certain amount of vested interest in wanting to do the right thing by the club as well as do the right thing by yourself, and actually signing an extension with a release clause or signing an extension with a view to moving on would make perfect sense. But I don't know who's advising him, and I actually don't know the ins and outs of the situation, so it's difficult for me to comment on it. But I do. For me, there is something that should. I would love to see him sign a new contract.
It would safeguard the club, wouldn't it? That's in it. It would be. I think it'd be fair to say, if Ryan Porteous leaves for pennies, which I think he would.
Well, he'll leave for nothing. He'll go for nothing.
Would we not get a development?
Well, I suppose we would, because he'd still be under 24, wouldn't he?
I was going to say, I don't know if he would be even past the age for that, but like if he leaves for nothing or pennies, like it would leave a bad taste in the mouth. You know, like let's be honest. You'd like to see that. You know, you've seen it before with Martin Boyle, John McGinn. You know, like it's possible to sell players to get, as long as both parties are pretty clear and understanding. And like Liam says, we don't know the ins and outs of it.
He'll be over 24 when his contract expires in summer, so he wouldn't get a development fee.
Right.
Nothing.
Well,
one thing I'll say, and we
comes of it.
One thing, like for me, I think from his point of view, it'd be good for him to have the safety net, because like we all love the boy, but he has been like there's some antics around him. Like obviously had the whole court case thing earlier in the year, and then he also had the like just the discipline record and stuff. So like if we see a player like that leaving a free and he ends up going to a massive club, then it's kind of hard to knock. But like with his off the field stuff and even like his anger on the field, like it's difficult to think that a massive club would take that gamble.
For audio listeners,
I would
I'd say that anger in sort of quotation marks.
Yeah.
I would be disappointed, to be fair, if he left for nothing. I think that I'm going to say, I think it'd be pretty poor for him. The club have obviously stuck by him through a couple of things and developed him into the player he is. So for me, I'd be signing a deal, even if I wanted to leave. You know, I just think that it's a decent thing to do. But look, at the end of the day, he's got his own interests to look out for as well. So it's a difficult one, but I would be incredibly disappointed if he left for nothing.
Right. Well, speaking about development, Liam, Greg, you've ventured down to the development team on Saturday. It's not something that we normally cover because we don't want to talk about things that we aren't aware of. But what did you make of the? That's such a lie. We talk about so much shit we don't know. Saturday.
Yeah, like Ewan talks about football.
Any big standouts?
Yeah, Liam's coffee cup's fucking insane. Just about burnt the fucking mouth off his. But yeah, any standouts, Liam?
I thought Del Ferrier and Tate in midfield, and you know, before anyone says it, context of the opposition, you know, playing a team finished the kind of middle of the East of Scotland league last season, so you'd expect there to be a few players who were kind of cut above the rest. And I thought Tate and Del Ferrier, particularly Tate in the first half, probably Del Ferrier more so in the second half as they tried to get forward more, very good. The left-footed McIntyre, which I decided was Jacob, I think, after looking it up, played at left back, was very good, some very good touches. And Josh O'Connor's probably only on for about 15-20 minutes, but he made a difference with his ability to get him behind. He came on and immediately was looking to run into space and get into the channels. Something that we'd sorely lacked till he came up on the pitch, because to be honest, the two big physical centre halves for Newton Grange did a pretty good job of keeping Laidlaw at bay by kind of forcing them back the way, and we only probably got him behind them maybe 2 or 3 times in the entire first half, and once was as a result of a really good touch from Laidlaw, and the other one was as a really good touch from McIntyre. But yeah, that was probably probably the key standouts from that game, I would say, and a maybe slightly unconvincing 3-0 win, just because the man of the way in the goals came.
What about yourself, Greg?
Dylan Tate didn't even break a sweat, to be honest, and he was by far and away the best player in the park. Del Ferry is incredibly physical and enjoys a tackle, and shout out the referee. McIntyre, I was saying this to Liam, he's almost like a dying breed of left back, so want to get to the line and get the ball across and get the strikers attacking it. If I'm honest, I think every single player looks pretty physical in that team. They look strong. They don't get bullied off the ball. So, but definitely Josh O'Connor came on and started running rings round the Newton Green centre halves.
I've got 2 questions.
And Hauger's feet are probably a week behind his head, and the fact that he knows what he wants to do, but he just can't. And he doesn't offload the ball when he should.
Fair. And speaking of Del Ferry and Tate, obviously the two that impress most, would you say that there's potential for Del Ferry to kind of step into that backup number 6 role, or do you not think that he's ready? Because obviously he's a physical player, and physicality is the thing that you kind of worry most about at that age. I think it's fair to say that was the thing that could have stood out last game of the season when we brought all the youngsters on. And also, in terms of Dylan Tate, do you think that he should be kind of the focus of that backup young player breaking into the team, as opposed to Campbell, who's kind of getting near that stage that is beyond the backup young player role?
I don't really know what a backup young player is, Harry.
Like a youngster who's not going to be a
choice,
first team player, but like the way Campbell came in December.
Basically,
like,
what
I
he's
think
saying,
was...
who's better value for a first team squad position, Josh Campbell or Dylan Tate?
Dylan Tate, it's not even a question. It's not even close.
I have to agree with that, to be honest. There's something about better the devil, you know, and you've probably seen a lot more of Josh Campbell and Dylan Tate, so you kind of know the flaws through their games. But I would just say, just based on the way Dylan Tate plays the game, I think he's significantly different to what the other midfielders that we've got at the moment, and I think it's probably more worthy of a spot. And on Del Ferry, I actually think the best thing for him would be, rather than being a backup, would be go out and play 25, 30 plus games for a lower end Premiership, top end Championship club this season.
I think he's at Championship level.
To be honest, based on the 2 pre-season performances and the game there, I think he's probably easily Championship level, if not a level above that. But it is so hard to tell because the games are so difficult. But he's a specimen. Like, for a young guy, he's an absolute specimen. And I think in the Scottish game, to be honest, if you're a proper athlete in that position, I think you can hide a lot of your flaws in your game if they're there. But I mean, people are talking about Dylan Tate going back to Raith Rovers on loan. I don't see the benefit in that at all. He's been at Raith Rovers for a long time. I think Dylan Tate needs to be aiming higher than that, to be honest. I think Hibs should be aiming higher than that for him. To be honest, I would chuck him in against, I know I said JDH thing, I'd chuck him in against Morton on Wednesday.
So it's not I was going to say
give him an audition,
but it's not sink or swim, is it? I mean,
what do we learn by playing Joe Newell, Jake Doyle? Jake Doyle, he's got a knock anyway, but Joe Newell, you know, Josh Campbell, we don't learn anything about those players. We've seen what they can do already. Give the guy a chance. He's playing against Greenock, and by all accounts, he's one of the better players in the park in those games last season. So why would we not play him at Easter Road?
Yeah, no.
It's a funny one. It's a really funny one from the club. Like, we make some decisions with players that just don't, as a fan, you only see one side of it, right? But sometimes the decisions don't add up. And I think, like, that's we're here to ask questions. And I think one of the questions for me would be, why is Dylan Tate only been given a proper opportunity?
It goes back for me to that question of, why were they not even in Portugal? I've said it so many times, but you know,
must have been so demotivating for him watching all his teammates, first-team teammates. He signed for the club last summer. He'd probably have thought by this stage he would have been in and about it. And then Dan Mackay just sit and watch him.
We've managed to form an opinion about Del Ferry from the 2 games in Portugal. And did he come on against? No, I don't even think he's come off the bench, actually. I don't think in any of them. So, like, yeah, I know this isn't how you should run a football team, but we invested in Dylan Tate. You know, we paid money, and by no means should that be guaranteeing you a level of game time, but there is an investment there. I know that was from 2 regimes ago now, and a different sort of head scout, but it is a curious case, isn't it? And even
Loney didn't fancy him either, so you know, like he came back in January and Loney didn't fancy him. So there's obviously something that maybe we're not privy to, that we're not seeing, but I can only see based on what I can see, and say what I will based on what I can see, and what I can see is a very able footballer.
Right, we've got 10 minutes till Greg's Love Island starts. Score predictions for Morton. Greg, you kick us off.
Morton haven't won yet, so 1-0 Morton.
Fuck off.
I'll go 3-0 Hibs.
Okay. Liam.
Slightly different. I'm going to go 3-1.
Harry.
6-0 Hibs on the cabbage.
I'm going to go for. So I've got 3-0, 3-1. I'll go 4-0. I'll take 4-0. I'm going to try and. I don't necessarily look. We scored four goals against Bonnyrigg without being fantastic. I think we are capable of scoring goals, especially the way Lee Johnson wants us to play. Don't think we'll be scintillating. Professional, get the job done, and hopefully win the group.
Aye. But what do we need to win? Oh, fucking we need Clyde or then
not win.
Bonnyrigg goes to his favourite against Falkirk.
I think if it's a draw and they don't win the penalty shootout, then we're fine. In terms of as long as we beat Morton, I think I might be wrong there, but I think that's the case. But yeah, any other business?
No, really, mate.
No?
I thought Harry definitely had something up his sleeve there. Like I was waiting.
All right, one question. Rate my meal deal today, and then we can wrap it up. So I got myself. It was Tesco. So after I got off the train and walked to work, I go past the Tesco, so I popped in there. I got a cheese and ham baguette with mayonnaise. It was pretty decent. Then I got it was like a wee square packet. It was chicken satay skewers. And then also got this flavoured strawberry water. You can't see because my screen's
blurred. Where did you say you got it from?
Tesco.
Okay, right. I know the ones you're talking about.
Right? Aye, yeah. So rate it out of 10. Go for it.
What was the
first.
sandwich? What was the sandwich? Sorry.
It was a ham and cheese baguette with it had mayo on it.
Oh, I'm giving that a good. Oh, Harry, that's good. That I'm going a 7.5. Because that's a very good. The sub roll for Tesco is very, very good.
Aye, it's soft as fuck. Like Greg, I think Greg's cut out, so we'll ignore him on this one. Liam,
at 5, I think, mate. You get points off for strawberry water because that's
I didn't deduct
good
because of the heat. That was what saved for me.
Chicken satays I can get on board with. Big fan. You just chose a very middle of the road sandwich, not a bad one, not a good one.
The sub roll at Tesco is very good though. It is very good.
No, absolutely is, but what also is good is the chicken, bacon and stuffing sandwiches from Tesco.
Very true, very true.
So Harry, chicken triple.
Yeah, so Harry, you're getting a 3 out of 10.
Right, boys, hold on. Do you get this
purely because you were so basic?
Do you get the chicken, bacon and stuffing as a triple sandwich, did you say?
No, the chicken triple is different. That's chicken sweet corn, chicken stuffing, and what's the other one? Chicken salad, maybe?
I think so.
Chicken and bacon? Chicken and bacon. Nah, it's not CBLT. CBLTs are
that's got chicken in it.
Chicken, bacon, and lettuce and tomatoes good. I just go for the most expensive stuff. So I get the chicken triple. I get a naked smoothie, and then I either get like you're saying like chicken satay, or I get like pineapple, or like the strawberry and grape fruit thing.
Hey, boys, this is where we start to realise why Liam's in the shape he is in. And like I'm in the shape I'm in.
Mate, more calories and stuff. Naked smoothies are full of calories, but best of gear, best of gear.
Anyone that gets fruit as the side in the meal deal for me, that's questionable. I have to say.
I would swap the fruit out if I was going to get crisps. I think the only crisps I'd swap fruit for is Paprika Max.
Oh, very solid. Good lad. Good lad.
Thai sweet chicken,
Thai sweet-
McCoy's unbelievable,
And-
and Thai sweet chili sensations
Aye.
also unbelievable.
The flame grilled steak, they're a good staple, but they have been overtaken
I don't know, like
in recent years.
Do you know what we were talking about at the golf yesterday that didn't make anymore? Is remember Highlander crisps? They used to do that 4-pack. Well, the meat was like bacon and brown sauce, tomato ketchup, sliced sausage and something. I can't remember. No, sliced sausage and brown sauce. I think maybe. Can't remember anyway. But and sea salt and black pepper. That company went bust. I would genuinely give an arm and a leg to someone if they were prepared to restart that company, because I used to just buy that 8-pack Union Bargains and just take them home, just scan the 8-pack. So good, best crisps.
Is it Mackey's that sometimes they try and go down
Mackey's
that
crisps
route?
are shite. Mackey's crisps are shite. The haggis crisps are fucking terrible.
They're like they're
just
basically
peppery.
knockoff kettle chips, aren't they? That's what
They're shite.
They're no sugar.
They taste stale, I think, every time you eat them. They're no crunchy enough.
Guys, I've got an
Anyway.
idea. What about a second podcast a week called Down the Shops, and then we just talk about meal deals?
how many shows are we coming up with here?
Yeah.
But we can't even get a fucking second mini series running.
I mean, state of the game, fucking state of us.
Aye, I did
From the
have some.
cabbage.
Did have some very. I was saying to the boys earlier on there. Morrison's mint chocolate chip ice cream. If you're looking for a home brand ice cream, Morrison's mint chocolate chip, very very good. It's one of the better mint chocolate chips, I would say.
Speaking
Out there
of
on the
home
market.
brand snacks, I was just wiring into a pack of Co-op milk chocolate honeycomb sorted drop things. Fucking
Co-op?
sensational. Aye.
Okay, now, can I want to?
I'm only £1.
I love the Co-op. Best of gear. The only thing that's good,
bastards.
the co-op that you don't really get anywhere else. Has anyone ever bought the chicken pakora out of the Co-op before? The Mrs. Eunice ones with the sweet chili sauce that comes inside them.
Can you not get that in
Genuinely-
Lidl's, I think?
Oh, I've never seen it in Lidl's, but they do it in the local Co-op here. The sweet chili sauce in there, genuinely is one of the nicest sweet chili sauces available to man. It's fucking incredible.
And on next week's podcast, we'll be reviewing.
Chicken pakoras.
What will we be reviewing? What will we be reviewing next week? Morton.
Rita
No,
Haggis.
it'll be previewing.
Norwich.
Mate. Previewing.
Rita haggis pakora as well. We're talking about pakoras.
Get
Haggis
involved.
pakora.
I had a
Fucking
doner meat
terrific.
pakora once. Jesus, it was next level.
Right, let's wrap
Drink
this
the
shit
haggis
up.
pakoras at Easter Road against Norwich.
Greg's got to see
Nah.
Love Island in 4 minutes.
Don't
Come
put this
on.
on me as if you didn't watch it yourself.
Show the English what culture's like and get the haggis pakoras in the go. I would like to say, because we're not going to get a chance to talk about the game at Norwich City, are a very small football club.
They're
Tiny.
playing Celtic
tiny.
on Saturday, no, which I didn't realise until the other day.
I think did they not beat Marseille 3-0 last night or something?
Did they?
Well, I think so.
Also a tiny.
To be fair, they're a tiny club, bit irrelevant, and they should get kicked about for their away trip. So
Or Marseille having a testimonial for Rudy Scatchell last night as well, or something.
it must have been.
Enough. We're finished. That's us done. We'll be
To be
back
fair,
next
Love
week with a
Island
double
doesn't start
episode.
getting good till about 15 minutes. So if you want to chat any more shine, pattern on.
Moan the haggis pakoras, that's all I've got to say.
Aye. Right, we'll be back next
Superb.
week. It'll be a double episode in terms of releases. We'll have our Scottish prediction in terms of league predictions and our predictions for Hibs for the season. Fingers crossed at least one of us gets considerably closer than any of us did last year. And we'll be back next week. Probably won't even talk about the Norwich or the Morton games, so just win Hibs, Cheers.
Cheers.
God bless.